Welcome to Life and Living. Welcome to Purpose. What is purpose? Purpose can be defined as the intention in the mind of the maker. The manufacturer, the maker, must have a reason for creating whatsoever is to be created. Now, everything that we see around us has a purpose. The common things like the microphone you are using, the pen in your hand, the book upon which you are writing, they all have their purpose. And this originated from the mind of the manufacturer. And it's also essential that what is created must know what it has to be used for. That's why in this broadcast we want to talk briefly about what I have captioned as the pain of purpose. Purpose comes with pain. Let's run down the lives of those that were ahead of us. Jesus, a perfect example. He came all the way from heaven to earth to fulfill a purpose. And that purpose, brought him pains. In the book of Hebrews chapter 12, the Bible talks about the fact that how Jesus endured such hostilities against his person from the hands of sinners and Gentiles. We met him in the Garden of Gethsemane, crying to his Father, Father, if it is your will, or if it can be your will, let this cup of suffering pass from me. It was a time of agony, going through, or if you will say, fulfilling the purpose of God for his life, because at that moment when he was bearing upon himself the sins of the entire world, his loving Father had to turn the other way. It was pain for him. We talk about the foremost apostle Paul. Paul talked about those things that were dear to him, the traditions of his fathers. Now he's what we may call his status in the society. He was of the Pharisaical order. We were told Paul studied in one of the best schools in his time under Gamaliel. He was a lawyer. But Paul turned around to say now all of this when they came to compete with the purpose that God will have him to fulfill in this life. He had to throw them all overboard. According to his own words, he said, I counted them as refuse for the excellency of joining with my life's purpose. That brought him pains. He talked about what he suffered in the course of fulfilling his purpose for living. Rejection by Jews, rejection by Gentiles, suffering in the city, suffering outside of the city, persecutions and beatings, hunger and thirst, and how for some days he was adrift at sea. Now, all of this imprisonment, all of this were pains that came to Paul as a result of fulfilling his life's purpose. What about Joseph? The story you know so well. Joseph had to endure the pit. Joseph had to endure slavery. Joseph had to endure imprisonment, because it was in that prison that God was going to connect him to his life's purpose of saving the lives of men, of nurturing men in very bad times. Purpose comes with its own pains. The prophet King David also had to go through pains in order to fulfill his purpose. Abandoned in the bush by parents and loved ones, running for his dear life for so many years in the hands of King Saul, abandoned to caves and to dens in the wilderness, and fighting wars. But these were all things that confronted the would-be king. This is the essence of this broadcast. Purpose, your life's purpose, fulfilling your life's purpose will bring pains. And that's why it will call for resilience. It will call for long suffering. It will call for endurance. And let us not, because of the pains of purpose, throw overboard our pursuit of purpose. Because, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of life, what is going to matter will be, how have you spent the life God gave? That's why we are talking, and that's why we are trying to have an understanding of purpose. Because, like we have been told, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. And may we not come to the end of life to discover that we have abused our lives all through. But may we, like those who've gone ahead of us successfully, like Paul, now declare we have lived a life of purpose, because that's what's going to matter to God and eternity. This is what will bring you joy when we come now to the end of this brief life. Thank you for being with us on this broadcast. We are still coming on the topic of purpose, but we are saying, be prepared, purpose will come with pains. But may you despise the pain, go ahead and embrace the purpose of God for your life. Thank you, and bye-bye.